stop scrolling, because what I'm about to tell you may completely change the way you see people. And once you understand this, you will never see the world the same way again. 3 days ago, I watched something painful. A man was standing in front of another person explaining himself, not for 1 minute, not for 5 minutes, for 20 full minutes. He was explaining why he did something, explaining why he didn't mean to offend anyone, explaining why he deserved respect. But the person listening was barely paying attention. They were looking at their phone, nodding occasionally, not because they cared, but because they were enjoying the power of watching another man seek approval. And the truth is, this scene happens everywhere, in offices, in relationships, in friendships. Men everywhere are explaining themselves to people who never respected them in the first place, trying to earn validation, trying to avoid conflict, trying to be understood. But here's the brutal truth most people never realize. The world does not respect those who seek approval. It respects those who command presence. And this difference changes everything. Because confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you are trained to lose. From childhood, you are taught to behave, to be agreeable, to avoid confrontation, to make everyone comfortable. But the men who shape the world do not live by those rules. 500 years ago, one man understood this reality better than anyone. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli, and he wrote something that terrified leaders and fascinated rulers for centuries. A manual of power. Not the polite version of power people talk about in public, but the real mechanics of influence, the psychology of dominance, the hidden structure behind respect. Today, you're going to learn 8 Machiavellian principles that transform ordinary men into unstoppable individuals. Men who cannot be manipulated, men who cannot be controlled, men who cannot be broken. But before we begin, I want you to write something in the comments. Write this: I refuse to be held back. Because once you understand these principles, there is no returning to ignorance. Let's begin. Inside every person, there are 2 identities fighting for control. The first identity is the version of you the world created. This version is polite, careful, apologetic. It constantly asks questions like, did I offend someone? Maybe I should explain myself. I don't want to upset anyone. This identity is addicted to approval. It wants to be liked. It wants everyone to feel comfortable. But there is another identity inside you, a much quieter one, a much stronger one. This identity does not seek approval. It does not beg for validation. It does not apologize for existing. This identity sets boundaries, and when those boundaries are crossed, it responds without hesitation. Every day of your life, you feed one of these identities and starve the other. When someone disrespects you and you stay silent, you feed the weaker identity. When someone wastes your time and you tolerate it, you feed the weaker identity. When someone crosses your boundaries and you explain instead of enforcing them, you feed the weaker identity. And over time, that identity becomes your default personality. But Machiavelli understood something very important about human nature. People respect strength, not cruelty, not arrogance, but certainty. Certainty in who you are. Certainty in what you tolerate. Certainty in what you refuse to accept. Weak men explain their boundaries. Strong men enforce them. Weak men negotiate respect. Strong men expect it. This transformation does not happen overnight. It happens through small choices. The next time someone disrespects you, pause. Don't react emotionally. Simply observe. Then respond with calm firmness. Because the moment you stop seeking approval, you start attracting respect. And that is the beginning of personal power. Most people walk through life with fragile minds. One criticism ruins their day. One failure destroys their confidence. One rejection makes them question their entire identity. But powerful individuals operate differently. They build what Machiavelli might call a fortress mind. Imagine a massive stone fortress. Thick walls, unbreakable gates. Nothing enters without permission. Your mind should function the same way. Not every opinion deserves access to your emotions. Not every insult deserves your reaction. Not every criticism deserves your attention. When someone criticizes a weak man, he feels attacked. When someone criticizes a strong man, he analyzes the information. This is a critical difference. Emotionally reactive people are easily controlled because anyone who knows how to provoke them can influence their decisions. But someone with a fortress mind cannot be manipulated through emotion. Instead of reacting instantly, they observe. Instead of arguing immediately, they evaluate. Instead of feeling personally attacked, they ask a simple question. What does this reveal? If someone insults you, what does it reveal about them? If someone betrays you, what does it reveal about their character? If someone tries to manipulate you, what does it reveal about their intentions? Powerful thinkers treat emotions as data, not commands. Anger reveals a boundary violation. Fear reveals an opportunity for growth. Disappointment reveals someone's true priorities. But emotions should guide awareness, not control behavior. This is the essence of the fortress mind. Calm, strategic, unshakable. One of the most misunderstood forms of power is silence. Most people believe confidence means speaking loudly, explaining everything, defending every decision. But Machiavelli observed something very different among powerful leaders. They spoke less, much less. And because they spoke less, every word carried more weight. Think about it. When someone constantly talks, their words lose value. But when someone speaks rarely, people listen carefully. Silence creates psychological tension. It forces others to wonder what you are thinking. It creates mystery, and mystery generates influence. Weak men fill silence with explanations. Strong men allow silence to do the work. If someone insults you and you remain calm, they become uncomfortable. If someone demands an explanation and you simply say, "That's my decision," they lose control of the conversation. Silence shifts the power dynamic because the person who reacts emotionally is no longer in control, and the person who remains calm always is. Most people interpret failure as proof that something is wrong with them, but powerful individuals interpret failure differently. They treat it as intelligence, information about reality. Machiavelli wrote extensively about fortune and unpredictability. He understood that success and failure often depend on forces outside our control. But what separates powerful individuals from weak ones is their response. When weak men experience betrayal, they become bitter. When strong men experience betrayal, they become wiser. When weak men face setbacks, they question their worth. When strong men face setbacks, they refine their strategy. Every disappointment contains valuable information. It reveals who can be trusted. It reveals where your weaknesses exist. It reveals how people behave under pressure. And once you understand these patterns, you become harder to deceive, harder to manipulate, harder to defeat. That is the hidden gift of adversity. It trains you, it sharpens you, it prepares you. There is a mistake that most men make when they face criticism. They argue, they defend themselves, they try to prove the critic wrong with words. But Machiavelli understood something most people never learn. Words rarely defeat criticism. Results do. Think about it. When someone criticizes you and you start explaining yourself, you automatically place them on the same level as you. You treat their opinion as equal to your work, and suddenly the conversation becomes a debate. But powerful people do something completely different. They refuse to fight critics verbally. Instead, they respond with excellence, because excellence does something arguments never can. It makes criticism irrelevant. Imagine two men. The first man spends hours arguing with people who doubt him. The second man spends those same hours improving his skills, building something valuable, achieving measurable success. 5 years later, which man will be respected? The one who debated critics, or the one who produced undeniable results? Machiavelli understood that public perception often follows success. People who criticize you today may praise you tomorrow if you succeed, and people who praise you today may criticize you tomorrow if you fail. That is the unstable nature of public opinion, which means you should never rely on approval. Instead, focus on competence. Competence is the most powerful form of influence. When someone becomes undeniably skilled, the world has no choice but to recognize it. A master craftsman doesn't argue about his skill. His work proves it. A successful entrepreneur doesn't explain his potential. His results demonstrate it. A powerful leader doesn't beg for respect. His actions command it. This is why excellence is such a dangerous weapon. Because it cannot be debated. It cannot be dismissed. It cannot be ignored. Eventually, even your critics will be forced to acknowledge it. But here's something even more interesting. Criticism itself can become a powerful source of fuel. Many of the most successful individuals in history were motivated by doubt. People who said, "You can't do that. You're not capable. That's impossible." Instead of arguing, they simply proved it wrong through action. So the next time someone doubts you, do something radical. Don't respond. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just remember what they said, and then quietly build something extraordinary. Because the most satisfying revenge in life is undeniable success. Something strange happens when you start improving your life. People begin reacting differently to you. Some will support you, some will distance themselves, and some will criticize you. Why? Because growth disrupts social balance. When someone in a group begins improving, it forces others to confront uncomfortable questions. Questions like, why am I not doing the same? Instead of confronting their own stagnation, some people choose a simpler solution. They criticize the person who is growing, not because you are wrong, but because your progress reminds them of their own inaction. Machiavelli understood that rising individuals often attract resistance, not because they deserve it, but because success changes the social hierarchy. And whenever hierarchy shifts, some people feel threatened. But this resistance is actually a sign that you are moving forward. Nobody criticizes someone who is going nowhere. Criticism usually appears when you begin doing something meaningful. So when you encounter critics, don't panic, don't slow down, don't shrink yourself. Simply continue moving forward, because success has a way of rewriting every conversation. There is an invisible force that shapes how people treat you. It operates quietly, constantly, and most people never realize how powerful it is. That force is reputation. Your reputation begins forming the moment someone sees you. Before you even speak, your posture communicates something. Your facial expression communicates something. Your tone communicates something. And within seconds, people begin forming a story about who you are. This story influences how they treat you, how much respect they give you, how seriously they take your words. Many people leave their reputation to chance, but powerful individuals design it intentionally. They understand that perception is a form of influence. For example, imagine two individuals entering a room. The first walks in nervously, looking around, speaking quickly, trying to appear friendly. The second walks in calmly, moves slowly, speaks deliberately, maintains steady eye contact. Who will people perceive as more confident? Most likely the second person. Not because he said anything extraordinary, but because his presence communicated certainty. Machiavelli observed that people often judge based on appearances, not necessarily because they are shallow, but because appearances are the fastest information available, which means your behavior constantly communicates messages. Messages like, I respect myself. I am calm under pressure. I do not tolerate disrespect. Or, I'm uncertain. I'm seeking approval. I'm easily influenced. Your reputation is built through consistent signals. The way you respond to stress, the way you handle disagreement, the way you carry yourself in everyday situations. Over time, people begin forming expectations about you. If you consistently demonstrate calm strength, they will treat you accordingly. If you consistently demonstrate uncertainty, they will treat you accordingly as well. Reputation becomes a form of social gravity. It pulls people's behavior in predictable directions. This is why Machiavelli advised leaders to carefully manage perception, not through deception, but through disciplined behavior. If you want to be respected, act like someone who respects themselves. If you want to be trusted, act like someone who honors commitments. If you want to be influential, demonstrate competence and calm authority. Over time, these signals accumulate, and eventually, your reputation begins working for you. People start expecting strength from you. They anticipate competence from you. They assume leadership from you. And once that expectation forms, your influence multiplies. There is an interesting pattern that appears in many powerful leaders. They speak less than everyone else, but when they do speak, everyone listens. Why? Because they understand something fundamental about communication. Scarcity creates value. When words are rare, they carry weight. But when words are constant, they become background noise. Think about the people in your life, the individuals who talk constantly. Eventually you stop listening, not because they are unintelligent, but because their words never stop. Now think about the quiet individual, the one who speaks occasionally. When that person begins talking, everyone suddenly pays attention. Silence creates authority. because it signals control. Control over emotion, control over impulse, control over reaction. And control is one of the most respected traits in human psychology. People trust individuals who remain calm under pressure. They trust individuals who don't panic. They trust individuals who don't react impulsively, which means mastering silence is not weakness. It is psychological leverage. So far, we've explored 6 powerful principles. You learned how to transform your inner identity, how to build a fortress mind, how to use silence as influence, how to turn setbacks into intelligence, how to defeat critics with excellence, and how to shape your reputation strategically. But the final 2 principles are the most powerful of all, because they combine everything you've learned so far and transform it into something dangerous, something rare, something very few individuals ever achieve. In the next section, you will discover how discipline creates unstoppable momentum and how self-mastery transforms an ordinary person into someone who cannot be controlled. There is a dangerous illusion that many people believe. They think powerful individuals simply wake up one day and become successful. That confidence suddenly appears. That strength magically develops. But Machiavelli understood something very different about human nature. Power is not created in dramatic moments. Power is created in boring daily discipline. Most people imagine excellence as something that appears during big opportunities, the important meeting, the difficult confrontation, the moment where leadership is required. But those moments are only the visible results. The real transformation happens in the invisible hours, the hours when nobody is watching, the mornings when you wake up early even though you want to sleep, the moments when you finish difficult work instead of procrastinating, the decisions when you maintain standards even when it would be easier not to. Discipline builds something extremely valuable: self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence, because confidence is not believing you will succeed. Confidence is knowing you can rely on yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce that belief. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken it. This is why discipline is so powerful. It slowly transforms your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes for success and start seeing yourself as someone who creates success. Weak individuals rely on motivation, but motivation is unstable. It disappears when things become difficult. Discipline, however, remains. It continues when motivation fades. It continues when energy is low. It continues when nobody is watching. And over time, discipline produces something extraordinary: momentum. Once momentum begins building, your progress accelerates, your skills improve, your confidence increases, your reputation strengthens, and suddenly the world begins responding to you differently. Not because luck changed, but because your habits changed. Machiavelli believed that fortune favors those who are prepared. Preparation is simply discipline repeated over time. So ask yourself a simple question: what habits are shaping your future? Because every repeated action eventually becomes identity, and identity eventually becomes destiny. Now we arrive at the final principle, the moment where everything we've discussed begins connecting together. Most people live their lives depending on external forces. They depend on approval. They depend on validation. They depend on reassurance. Their emotions rise and fall based on how others treat them. But an unstoppable individual operates differently. Their strength comes from internal stability. Criticism does not destroy their confidence. Rejection does not destroy their identity. Failure does not destroy their motivation, because their foundation is internal, not external. Machiavelli described one of the greatest forms of power as self-mastery, the ability to control your own reactions, your own emotions, your own decisions. Think about how rare this is. Most people react automatically. Someone insults them, they explode with anger. Someone rejects them, they collapse with insecurity. Someone disagrees with them, they panic and start defending themselves. But someone who has mastered themselves cannot be controlled this way, because control requires emotional leverage, and emotional leverage only works on people who are reactive. The unstoppable individual is different. They observe before reacting. They analyze before responding. They choose their actions deliberately. This level of control creates a powerful side effect: independence, not isolation, not arrogance, but independence from emotional manipulation. When you no longer require approval to feel confident, people lose the ability to control you. When criticism no longer scares you, people lose the ability to intimidate you. When rejection no longer breaks you, people lose the ability to influence your direction. And that is when something fascinating begins happening. You become unpredictable, not chaotic, but unconstrained. You are no longer moving according to other people's expectations. You are moving according to your own strategy. And individuals who cannot be predicted are extremely difficult to control. This is why truly powerful individuals often appear calm, unbothered, focused, not because they don't feel emotions, but because they are not controlled by them. They have mastered themselves, and once someone masters themselves, very little in the external world can stop them. Now pause for a moment. Think about the person you were when this video started. Maybe you were curious. Maybe you were frustrated. Maybe you were searching for answers. But now you understand something most people never learn. You understand how influence actually works. You understand how respect is created. You understand how personal power is built. You now know that strength begins internally, that discipline builds identity, that silence can be more powerful than words, that setbacks contain valuable intelligence, that excellence defeats critics, that reputation shapes perception, and that self-mastery creates independence. These 8 principles are not just ideas, they are tools. Tools that can reshape the direction of your life. But knowledge alone changes nothing. Transformation begins when knowledge becomes action. The world will test you, people will challenge you, old habits will try pulling you back. But remember something important. Every powerful individual was tested before they became powerful. Every respected leader was doubted before they were respected. Every successful person was underestimated before they succeeded. Resistance is not proof that you are wrong. Often, it is proof that you are moving forward. And if you apply what you learned today, something remarkable will happen over time. Your mindset will change. Your behavior will change. Your reputation will change. And eventually, your life will change. Because once you begin mastering yourself, the world has far less power over you. You will walk into rooms with calm certainty. You will handle criticism with composure. You will pursue your goals without waiting for permission. And people will begin noticing something different about you. Not arrogance, not aggression, but quiet strength, the kind of strength that cannot easily be manipulated, the kind of confidence that cannot easily be broken, the kind of mindset that cannot easily be stopped. That is the true meaning of becoming unstoppable. If you made it to the end of this video, it means something inside you recognizes these ideas. So I want you to do one simple thing. Write this in the comments. Nobody can stop me. Not for me, for yourself. Because the moment you decide to take control of your mindset, your discipline, and your direction, the game changes, and the world begins responding to you differently. Remember this: nobody can hold you back if you refuse to stay small. Nobody can break you if your strength comes from within, and nobody can stop you once you decide who you are becoming.